Hi, welcome to the Zing Zoom series. I'm Emily Vesselin, Senior Content Editor for Jewelers Mutual and the ZingReport.com. And today I had a really fun and insightful conversation with two very innovative digital marketing whizzes in the industry, Liz Kanter from the Stay Gold Collective and Laryssa Wirstiuk from Joya Joya Marketing Agency. So I hope that you will enjoy this chat. I did, and we'll be right back.
Everywhere we look, our world is changing faster than ever. But the change was always coming. While disruption is never easy, legacy is born from challenge, and hope flows from the connection with our customers, the strength of our communities, and the love of our family and friends. Jewelry is the thing that brings us all together, marking our milestones, lifting our hearts, and reminding us why we do this. 'Cause it don't mean a thing if it ain't got that zing.
That's why Jewelers Mutual launched the Zing platform, the easy-to-use, one-stop shop to navigate our changing industry. With fast and free access to best-in-breed services, solutions, industry tools, and information, the Zing platform is an all-in-one platform to connect, explore, and discover. For everyone in our industry, it's the jewelry marketplace for today and tomorrow.
And the Zing platform offers something for everyone. Transparent access to a world-class diamond marketplace. A simple step-by-step appraisal engine tapping GemWorld's deep expertise, as well as a place to find fast, secure, and cost-effective shipping solutions. What's more, it makes completing everyday tasks easy.
When the world zags, we zing. At Jewelers Mutual, we've been doing this for over 100 years, and we're just getting started. Harness the power of the industry and unlock your potential. All you gotta do is zing.
Hi, welcome to the Zing Zoom series from Jewelers Mutual. My name is Emily Vesselin. I'm the Senior Content Editor at Jewelers Mutual, and I'm so pleased to welcome two really smart ladies to the Zing Zoom series. Could you please introduce yourself, Liz and Laryssa?
I'm Liz. I'm a marketing consultant in the jewelry industry. I found the jewelry industry working for Todd Reed many years ago. And since then, I fell in love with supporting jewelry designers. I've curated the New Designer Gallery at JA New York. And I have a group of designers that I consult called the Stay Gold Collective.
Fantastic. Laryssa?
I'm Laryssa Wirstiuk. I'm the founder and owner of Joya Joya. We're a digital marketing services agency. We work exclusively in the jewelry industry, offering holistic and comprehensive digital marketing services. I'm also the host of the Joya Joya podcast, which is on iTunes, YouTube, and elsewhere, and the author of Jewelry Marketing Joy.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for being here. Now, I think of the two of you, I think of Instagram for sure. You have such a great presence on that platform, but I also was really excited to learn that you have joined forces, Wonder Twin Powers Activate. And I'm wondering how you guys ended up joining together and why it's such a good partnership.
Yeah, so I was looking for support for a community for myself. I love supporting designers, and but I wanted somebody to bounce ideas off of. And Laryssa came in. I shot her an email, and she took the lead on setting up weekly or bi-weekly Zooms for us. And we kind of came up with this idea out of this passion for doing more for the industry and providing more resources for jewelry designers.
Fantastic. Laryssa?
Yeah, I mean, being so passionate about the jewelry industry, I think there's so many amazing people working in it, especially service providers like me. And I like to take every opportunity to meet them and spend time with them and network with them. And Liz is definitely one of those people. So I was excited to connect with her. And we had this synergy around this project that we both wanted to do. And we have kind of complementary strengths that I think could really benefit the people who decide to enroll and to join us in this community that we're creating.
Awesome. Talk to me guys about this webinar series that you have launched it's squarely aimed at emerging businesses. Is that correct?
Yeah, emerging and people who have been in it for a while and need a roadmap or a guide. I feel like talking to designers for so long, I feel like I understand what they're looking for. And same with Laryssa. And we were kind of, we came up with this series based on that. There's a lot of different resources out there and ideas that are kind of piecemeal. And we wanted to put together an actual guide that holds your hand and walks you through the whole process of getting all of your digital marketing set up. And we've timed it to align with leading up to Q4, which whether you have clients who are self-purchasers or you have a lot of people who purchase as gifts for gift giving, it's still a really strong time of year for everyone in the jewelry industry. So we wanted to make sure everybody is way ahead of the game this year and ready to set themselves up for success. We've also created an Instagram page called Success with Jewelry, where we'll be providing free resources. And our hope is to create a community of jewelry designers there and a place to answer people's questions.
Fantastic. I feel like in so many ways, it's a little bit of a confusing time for small businesses and brand owners. And I know, Liz, you and I have talked about how Instagram is ever evolving, ever changing, constantly changing the rules on us. Can you give us a little bit of a taste of what you guys will talk, or either of you, what you'll be talking about in terms of Instagram and social media and advice that you have and sort of guidance that you have for your community?
Yeah. So I think the biggest thing is Instagram. I get a lot of, or we both get a lot of questions around Instagram, but something I like to remind jewelry entrepreneurs and professionals is that it doesn't exist in a vacuum. It has to be working with all these other moving parts in your business. So like a lot of people I talk to, they get so hyper focused on the algorithm, and that's like the thing that they start obsessing over and worrying about. But there are so many other like levers you could be pulling in your business. And I'm talking about things like content in general, email marketing, that if you're actually looking at the whole picture, Instagram becomes a lot easier and less obsessive, let's say, because you're naturally like finding ways to improve your presence there without being like hyper focused on it.
So interesting. Liz, did you have something to say about that?
Yeah, definitely. So
Okay.
we created this series. So we're starting with branding. And if you've ever seen any of my free webinars or have talked to me at all, I always talk about how you need to understand your brand and what you're about before you do anything else. So we're really going to focus on that, and then your website, and then your SEO, everything that goes along with that, the whole customer experience. And then we're going to look at Instagram and your email marketing. So all of the pieces of the puzzle need to be working together to have a successful Instagram strategy.
Is it, but do people, when people come to you, do they feel like Instagram and their efforts there way more than their efforts in other areas?
Yeah, I think that it's such a visible platform. It's such everybody can see what you're doing there, and it's also a platform where, you know, there are these things that happen when you post likes and comments that are just very visible. But a lot of sales happen, and I've noticed this especially over the past 2 years. I work one-on-one with some higher end fine jewelry designers doing content strategy, and the sales happen in the direct messages. So you could have low engagement on your posts, and maybe you aren't having visible action, but you're getting direct messages, you're transferring them to email, you're making sales. So as long as you're creating content that aligns with your overall brand message and you're speaking directly to your customer, no matter what kind of visible engagement you're getting on Instagram, things could still be happening that are driving sales.
And it's just hard for people to see, right? You see the low engagement, you think, well, nothing's happening.
Yeah. And to Liz's point, I think one thing we'll be talking about is really choosing the key performance indicators or the metrics, the data that actually matters for your brand. Like that's going to be different from brand A to brand B. Followers might not matter for you as much as what Liz said, like the engagement happening in the DMs versus the likes and comments. So figuring out how to like stay really focused on the things that are important for your brand and not letting you get distracted or overwhelmed by the things that don't matter as much.
The vanity metrics, you could call them.
Yeah.
The vanity metrics. Okay. Interesting. Which don't really tell any kind of full story anymore, right?
Right, exactly. And I think we get just kind of caught up in them, but your number of followers doesn't indicate the number of sales you could be making. You could have a really engaged audience of 200 people following you and really be making consistent big sales.
Interesting. Okay. And then also email marketing. You guys talked to me before we hit record on this, and I did not realize that it is kind of its own animal. Can you talk a little bit about why that's important?
Yeah, well, email marketing is so important because it is one of the best ways to kind of take ownership over customer data. Like on Instagram and Facebook and TikTok, for example, ultimately those platforms have ownership, let's say, over that data. Like you can communicate with those people, but they are not there's no direct channel to really reach them. And email is a way to like really own that data, to personalize your messaging, to understand the behaviors of the people looking at those emails and clicking through to your website. So if you have that opportunity to have this like direct one-to-one relationship with the people who love your brand, why not utilize that?
If you had to only give one piece of advice to, let's say an indie jewelry brand, like just one piece of advice that would lead them down the path to success, whether it's something online, whether it's something, making phone calls or whatever it is, what is one big piece of the puzzle? What's the piece of advice?
Liz, what would you say?
My piece of advice would be know your brand, know who you are, know what you're selling. And I know that, that's not necessarily something that feels like it's going to lead directly to sales, but the clearer you are, the clearer your customer is going to be.
You talk about niche, like know your niche, mind your niche. I think that's super important. Yeah. Laryssa, what would be your one piece of advice?
Mine's similar, but it's know your customer. Something I say so often that I joke about in my podcast, like tattooing it on my face so that people can see it as I'm talking, because it's literally in my mind, that's everything.
Yeah. Because you can't. And why is that? Just because you can't be like spray and pray, like going out to everybody. You have to know. Yeah.
Yeah. And it works hand in hand with what Liz said. Cause yeah, you can know your brand, but you also have to know your customer, because the way you communicate your brand has to resonate with the customer. So you're not just like talking out at nothing.
Totally. You have to have a spot where you want it to land, right?
Exactly.
Awesome. Laryssa, Liz, we're done. This is so short. It's sad because I feel like I could talk to you guys for hours, but I really appreciate you being here. Thank you so much. Great advice. And everyone should check out your webinar, which is Success with Jewelry, a 6-part extravaganza of amazing advice. I have no doubt. Thank you so much, ladies.